I know I'm on the other side of this now. Here recently, I was going through another dark depression that wanted me to stay there, wanted me to not be able to express myself. And I fed into that, and I went through a long period of distracting myself from myself and all the things that go on here. And I thought that was helping me. I thought maybe if I could turn all of these things off, quit thinking about it, quit worrying about it, that it would all just go away. But deep down, I knew that wasn't true. I knew that it would only intensify the more I distracted myself. And the more I went into it, the more distracted I got. And the more uneasiness I felt, and the more I felt bad and felt useless, and there's no point, there's no hope, I'm just going to be stuck here forever. I mean, what is after this? Who knows? I'm just going to keep distracting myself, and it takes a toll on you because your spirit knows that that's not the way. The way is to not just endlessly distract oneself from the abhorrent truth of this place. Now, it's good to take breaks, but do not disconnect from yourself during those breaks. I don't think it's healthy to constantly be swayed and focusing on all the negativities about life because they are endless. They never cease. And that takes a toll on you. But the thing that I have now realized is through all of that, your focus must be on yourself. I knew that, but somehow I had put that aside and allowed life to keep feeding me all of the distractions and the negative thought loops. And I was agreeing with these negative thought loops and even acting as if these things were real and true. And eventually it was starting to pervert my mind, my knowing, my inner essence, to the point where I completely lost myself again. All of that hard work that I did to get to the point that I was, I just threw it all away because it was too much. It was too much to bear, too much to deal with. And I got into the lust of the flesh, so to say. Who cares right now? I'm just going to fulfill my desires and not worry about all of this bullshit because it's getting me nowhere. So why not just indulge in life with the endless distractions, just to turn my mind off, to turn my brain off. And the more you do that, the more easier it is to keep doing that. And you get to the point where it's your first thought, it's your second thought, it's please just numb this pain with all of these distractions in life because I don't want to deal with it anymore. It's too much. And deep down, I knew my spirit was crying out to me, please stop. Stop this. It is okay to distract yourself. It is okay to cope because that's what everyone is doing in this life, is coping. But you cannot lose touch with yourself. As soon as you lose touch with yourself, it's game over for you. You are the only thing that can help you. This life is not going to do that for you. And the more that you stay connected with yourself, no matter what happens in this life, you're going to be okay internally. Because the mental and the emotional are constantly trying to take control over you. And they're not necessarily who you are. These are the mind viruses and the mind programmings that will not stop. They try relentlessly to get you back in that submissive state so that you do not feel empowered, so that you feel there's nothing you can do. And in this life, in this physical life, that may be true. It may be true that there's nothing you can do to change this place. There's nothing you can do to have any kind of effect on this place. But that is the trick. You can't change this place. That's true. But you can change your connection with yourself. And as long as you're connected with that self, realize that we have been dumbed down to such a decrepit, degraded state of consciousness that we feel that we are useless, that we feel that we are powerless, that we feel that we are trapped forever. And that is not true. Those thoughts tried to get me to believe that my whole life, basically, but in this state of depression that I was in, it was on me so hard. And I started to buy into it. I started to believe it. And everything that I had worked for before that seemed to get more and more diluted to the point where I could only see my powerlessness. I could only see what this world was presenting to me. And it's dark, and it makes you feel that it's hopeless. But my spirit kept crying out to me, telling me that it's not true. It's not true. Connect back with me, and I will prove to you that all of this is an illusion, and the only thing that's real is me. As in, remember that your consciousness has been dumbed down to a pathetic level, and that it wants me to agree with this illusion that I'm nothing, that I'm no one, and I'm powerless to do anything. And fear creeps in when you start to believe these things. But fear is just a mind program. Suffering exists here while you're in this body because of harm, loss, and all kinds of other things that happen here. Pain, the unknown. But realize that you're much more than this body. Much more. We have been deceived to think that we are just this. If you look at the world around you, it is one big deception factory, constantly trying to gaslight you into thinking that you're a no one, that you're nobody, and everything is meant to keep you on the hamster wheel of life, to keep you on the endless cycle of abuse and torment. Looking back at my younger days when I first got into this, realizing that everything that I have been told is a lie, from history to politics to human origins to society, all of these things have been carefully orchestrated to get me into this perceptual mindset that most people are in. But something inside of me, which was me, that I've always been connected to, was telling me that it was all a lie. It's all a deception. And the more that I went with that, the more I began to see things for what they were. And the more that I knew that I was in a prison body, in a prison world. And my jailers are not only physical, but they exist in a state of non-physicality, constantly pumping into me chains and limitations. Yes, I'm limited physically and mentally and emotionally and spiritually. But they want me to believe that these chains aren't chains, that these chains are just the way things are. But no. My imagination and your imagination is the key to unlocking who you truly are. Once you're out of this body, your imagination, which is endless possibilities, dictate to you how free you're going to be. And by using logic and reasoning to see this world for what it is, your imagination can follow suit. Because if you don't see what this world really is, and you just have your imagination can be perverted, it can be led astray, it can be controlled. But by using your logic and reasoning to see that you're in a prison system that goes far beyond your limited understanding in this place, you're then able to act once you're out of the body. You're able to fully use your imagination for your own benefit, because you're not putting your sovereignty into other entities' hands. You're not going along with the script that they want you to believe in anymore. You are your own sovereign entity with your own power of imagination to manifest whatever it is you want. Do not let these things control your imagination. You can even use your imagination here. Manifestation here is very limited. It does happen because I have been able to manifest certain things, but we're under a control grid here. These manifestations are extremely limited, but it says a lot about who we are that we can still manifest certain things. We can't manifest things on a huge, large scale, no. But these are just things pointing to who we really are. If we're that powerful, then believe it. If you want out of this place, then know it's a possibility. Know it's going to happen. Don't let the fear creep into your mind, which is not coming from you. It's coming from the body programmings, and it's coming from the mind viruses that they inject into you 24/7. Let all of these thoughts go. Don't hang on to them. Don't dwell on them. The more that I dwell on my suffering, the more suffering I'm experiencing. The more that I realize, okay, I am experiencing suffering, but it is not my original state. How can I use my imagination to change these situations? You may not be able to physically hear, but I'm saying start practicing using that imagination so that when you're fully out of the body and you're fully in that unlimited state, you're not thinking the way you thought in your body. You now have the unlimited power to do whatever it is that you wanted to do. And these things can't control you. Start taking off the chains in your mind now, so that when you get out of the body, those chains, were chains, and they no longer dictate to you your limitations. You are not limited when you're out of the body. And some people don't know this, they don't want to accept this, and that's fine. But I've had experiences where I know that is a fact. And there are many other people sharing their experiences that they know it's a fact. We go on after this. This is the prison realm. This is where all the rape and suffering and torture happen. And they are gaslighting us, programming us for us to believe this is all that we are. The limited state that we are experiencing is who we are. And when we die, we are powerless to change anything. As long as you have this awareness, this perceptual shift, and then you are constantly giving energy to that, there's nothing that can stop you. There's nothing that can sway you. There's nothing that's going to change your mind. Just know it. Know that this is your last life here. Know that this is all wrong, and there's nothing that's going to change your mind or force you to come back here. It is not even a question. It is a knowing. Use that intention. No matter what happens to you here, stay connected with your power. Stay connected with your true essence. This life is going to beat you down. This life is going to try to sway you to not believe these things, so that when you're out of the body, you feel powerless. You have the fear. But realize, when you're out of the body, there is nothing to fear, because you cannot suffer. The suffering only happens in the body. And if you believe in your mind that you are just the body, you're going to suffer when you get out of here, because you are in a limited state of being. Limited states of being can suffer. Don't agree with the mind, the false mind. That's not you. We have unlimited power, so to say. Unlimited power as in this state, it would seem like unlimited power because of the power of your imagination, the power of your true creativity. It has been firewalled off from your being now. And I know this because I feel the best when I use my creativity and my imagination to manifest things in this reality, like art and music. And when I create things, basically, that's when I feel the most power. That's when I feel the most fulfilled. Even if it's meaningless to other people, to me, it brings me an immense joy because I'm using my creative power to breathe things into life. And when you're out of the body, you have that power to do whatever it is that you want. When the chains have been taken off of you and you fully know who you are, and it's hard to fully know who you are in this life, but just know that your consciousness has been dumbed down to such a pathetic state of existence that these things are hard to even imagine. But when you're out of the body, all of that programming is taken off, and you can surge with imagination and creativity. That's what they're afraid of. All of our imagination and creativity has been siphoned off from us from the day we were born, and we are force-fed with their imaginations, with their pictures of reality. And we just consume. It's not a fulfilling thing to be a consumer. Your body wants to consume. For it, it's fulfilling, but for you, it's not. It's never fulfilling to be constantly consuming. It is always fulfilling to be creating. And we are getting out of here. And you could say that we're going to consume them who put this into motion. We're going to consume them and shit them out and flush them away for eternity, because we know we have the power. We know we can overcome this. Don't agree with the programming of your mind that they set into motion. They have put landmines in your being so that you can constantly trip on them and explode and feel like there's no hope. Feel like you have to follow suit. And don't look for other people to be your leader or your guide or to tell you what's true and what's not true. The work has to constantly be within yourself to show yourself that these things are true. And when you do that, it doesn't matter if someone is a shill or an agent or just doesn't know what they're talking about, because you're your own leader. You can ask yourself, are these things true or are they false? And you can pick out the gold and leave the shit behind. Because the same thing's going to happen once you leave this body. As long as you're viewing that you're the leader, you're your own source of power, creativity, and imagination. And you're not going to let anything sway you from that. Keep that in your essence now. Keep that in your perception so that when you leave, it doesn't matter if that person's an archon or a friend. No matter what they say, you're not following suit. You're trusting your own self. And when you meet your so-called loved ones in the next life, and you're worried if they're going to sway you to make you come back here, no need to worry about that, because it's just like in this life. You know that many of your loved ones or people in your life, they are not in the truth. And it's easy for you to agree with yourself over their lies. So you take that with you into the next life. And if you are confronted with loved ones or people that you know, and they're telling you something, you can just view them as you viewed them here. Oh, they're full of shit. They don't know what I know. They're still in the mind programming. They're still under control of this evil system. There's no worry for me to believe them, because I know within myself what this place is and that I'm not going where they want me to go. Hey, mom, hey, dad, I'm going to go my own way. I hope that you can follow me one day. But remember, I didn't agree with you down there in that prison earth realm that you thought was so wonderful and magical. Yeah, the same still applies here. I am fully trusting myself and knowing within myself that you're full of shit. I mean that in the best possible way. And you're probably not even who you say you are. Either way, it doesn't matter, because I'm not following you. I'm not following anyone other than what I know within myself to be true. And I know that this is a fucked up realm full of deception, suffering, and enslavement. And there's no way I'm going to justify any of it, no matter who you are or who you present yourself to be. So that's that. That's that. It's the same as in this life. I see what this place is, and it's not going to change when I go into the next. I'm fully confident within myself. And many people think that the astral is the prison yard and Earth is the prison itself. And when you're in the astral, you're still in the prison. You're just in the prison yard. Okay. Well, know that you're going to make it out of the prison yard, because in the prison yard, you have much more power, much more. So that if you made it out of the prison itself, you're going to make it out of the prison yard. And you're going to get to base reality, or the real world, so to say. And once you're there, then you'll know what to do. And what about ending this place? Setting the captives free? What about all that? Well, when you have your memories back and your power back, you then can decide on how you're going to act. But in this limited state, it's very hard to even know what's possible and what's not possible, what you can and can't do. So I think the main key is to know that you're going to get out of here. Know that there's no question you're making it out of here. Then when you're out of here, know that you're not coming back. Know that there's nothing that can force you or stop you or to make you change your mind, get you back down here. And when you know that you're not coming back down here, then you can start acting on how to end this place. But you got to take it step by step. Because if they get you back down here, then there's nothing you can do about it. But they're not going to get you back down here, because you're already at a state of perception that will not allow that. So do not let the fear creep into your mind. Some people may think this is wishful thinking. Okay, if you think it's wishful thinking, then just wishful think it, because it's better than being in fear and being under the boot of depression and hopelessness, because in that state, nothing is going to be possible. So if you need to believe it's wishful thinking, then just believe it's wishful thinking until you can get to the point of knowing it's what's going to happen. I know that we are all going through our own personal hell right now, and I can feel the heaviness and the disheartening energy, and it's understandable, and I'm there as well. But I cannot let these entities continue to rape my mind and my soul and my essence and my spirit. All of these things that have no words. That's what they want. They want to rape us until we're nothing. And through the hopelessness and the tragedies of this life, we can hold on to what's true. What's true is this is all a deceptive, unexcusable reality. And we are much, much more than this. No matter what they tell us, what they show us, and what they subject us to, it is not justified. And we are not this. And we are far, far, far more than this. And I am not going to let them put on the false belief that I'm not. You know you are deep within yourself, and you know that there's nothing that you've done to deserve any of this. There's no guilt, shame, or any of that they can put onto you to make you feel that you're stuck here forever. The guilt and the shame of not being good enough to get out of here is what they are relying on. Throw all that out the window and know that you did not ask for any of this. You do not deserve any of this. And there's nothing that's going to keep you here. No matter what you did or didn't do, you're getting the hell out of here. None of it's justifiable. We've all done things that we regret. We've all been and acted in ways that are not of us, but just realize that was just you going along with the script and believing that you are the body and the emotions and the programming and and the things that this life have put you through without your permission, you have done things that you're not proud of. But just know that it was all scripted to be that way, to see how you would react. And we've all reacted in ways that are not us. But once we are out of this unlimited state, we get to be who we really are and show these fuckers that we aren't those limitations that they imposed on us and that they tried to get us to believe that we were.